On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with our monthly financial breakdown. It's the first full week of the month. I know some of you guys were probably expecting it last Monday, but it's this Monday. When was this Monday? April 7th. We're going through some things, people. Doing my end-of-month financials from March. Oh, boy. We got a lot to unpack. Before we do that, I want to make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Definitely, as you're watching the video, chime in down in the comments. Those of you who watch the premiere, I do not make it into the chat for all of the premieres. I try to breeze through, but I'm starting my day when these are releasing, so I'm actually at work as well. But leave me comments. I do reply to all my comments. Thank you guys for pointing out the spam comments. I'm catching them as fast as I can. Plus side, they only get to post once because I do go through and monitor my comments myself. So I do report them, and then they are blocked and they are hidden on my channel. So they never get to post again. So they're going to have to go through a lot of bots to, keep coming on over here. I mean, I guess I should consider it a compliment, but it's annoying. But I am checking the comments for those of you who are real people that want to have real conversations down in there. And one of the things that I am looking towards doing is as we hit some of these metrics, as far as subscribers, I am going to start bringing back the live. So we are looking at getting, I'm going to say, I'll start bringing back the live streams. They're not going to be consistent. They will be infrequent, but the unlock for the live streams is 200 subs. So I need 200 subs. We're almost at 100. And I appreciate every one of you that take the time to actually sub to this channel. I've got a few more subscribers on my old channel. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not well known. I've seen people with way higher subscriber counts giving way worse information. So I need to get to 200 subs before I start doing lives, and then we will start doing them infrequently. And then once we get to 500, we'll get a regular schedule. That's the way this is going to go. Benefits of the live stream. I am entertaining. I am good at hosting a live stream. I enjoy doing panels. I enjoy asking questions, and chat lives matter. I do talk to the chat. So that would get me motivated to get a day carved out to do a live stream with you guys. We've got to go through these numbers, man. They're ugly. And it's actually a good thing. It's a good thing because first and foremost, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is the market that I like. I like it when everyone's panicking, when everyone's going bedlam, because I am die hard through and through with my thesis. We made some adjustments. We're making some moves within the financial scape. We cleared some stuff out of the way, and now we are actively working towards transitioning that W-2 paycheck to live and exist fully in the income portfolio. Currently, we are at, we've carved out a dedicated 10% going there. I've got a percentage that's going into my Robinhood account that's accounting for my bare minimum for over there because we're building that out for the daily expenses. And I've got a couple of here and there very low 1% amounts that are going to other places, but I have pivoted to percentage based as far as budgeting, because this is as close as I'm going to get to it, to kind of make sure that, like, as my incomes increase, those percentages also increase. It kind of just makes it easier. And yeah, we're going to use the tools that are readily available to make this as efficiently as possible. But at the end of some months, and this is one of the things that I drill into, I am an advocate of, and I tell people all the time, you get rich focusing. We are not over here trying to protect money. So a lot of the stuff that I do personally, obviously, This is not financial advice. That's the first thing that you guys should understand. Secondly, no one's coming to save you. Thirdly, you don't get rich diversifying. I'm going to say it one more time for the kids in the back. You do not get rich diversifying. Diversification is a wealth protection tactic. Now, me personally, I'm not wealthy yet, and I'm trying to get rich. So diversification really means nothing. That's something that I'll do after I get over $1 million. I do not have $1 million. Matter of fact, we dipped back below our goal of last year of getting to a net worth that was stable over 250,000. Now, we didn't dip super deep, but it bothers me because this year we are looking at getting to $350,000 in net worth, positive, stable. And in order to do that, we can't be going back under 250. But every month's not a good month. And when you are laser focused like I am on trying to get rich and you are in your lane, you got to take the L's from being in your lane. I'm not trying to game the market. I'm not trying to get in and get out. I'm not trading. I am literally building my income around my thesis, my crypto portfolios around my thesis, and my long-term stock holdings are around my thesis. Win or lose, all in. All chips are in because we're trying to get rich. So we're going to start off with the net worth, which is down $34,934.83. That does not feel good. That's the reason for the name of this episode, because when stuff doesn't go your way, you have to do a postmortem. Why? Your bad months are actually more important than your good months. Because there's more to unpack, there is knowledge in the bad months. First thing I ask myself when I look at that number, negative $34,934.83. First thing I ask myself, did I overspend this month? Answer that question. No, I didn't. Next question. Did we add to our debt load? Yes, we did a little bit, but not enough to facilitate $34,934.83. Where's the bleeding coming from, Reckless Raid and Arrow? It's the market. Why? Bitcoin's down. Is there anything we could have done differently? Now, if I was willing to, I would say, hey, when the market started going down, when we dropped to 90,000, I could have went to cash because I could have. I could have got out of a couple of my positions in my long-term holding portfolio because I could have. I could have liquidated my income portfolio and liquidated all my assets and just paid off the entire debt load right then because I was ahead of the debt load because I could have. So why didn't I? Because those thoughts do cross your mind. I have chosen that I don't like to part ways with Bitcoin. I do not like to part ways with my my income portfolio specifically for income, and the swing trade strategy that I've established for my long-term holding portfolio. I'm not parting ways with those shares except for under certain circuit breaker scenarios, which we moved to. We're going to talk about that in the portfolio update. So tap in tomorrow because you'll have that. But I have historically always ridden the wave. I don't like selling. I don't like going to cash. I don't like being scared out of my position because historically, when I first got into Bitcoin, whenever I did that, I came in at a worse position because I am not a chart reading guru. I do not like timing the market. I buy. Simply put, this is just very simple for me. When stuff goes bedlam, when I look at numbers like these, I am ready to shop. I'm ready to buy. That's what we did last month. We did it at the beginning of last month, actually, which brings us to our next number, our savings percent. Now, this was a good one. We're going to talk about it. Our savings percentage was 87.85. We actually saved almost all the money that we made. Why? Because I deployed leverage at the beginning of the month when we had the initial crash at the beginning of March. I deployed leverage out of my brokerage account because I was tapped for cash. Like you're limited on the cash that you have coming in with the W-2 income. I am not limited in the margin in my portfolio. So we deployed just enough to be uncomfortable at the beginning of the month. And we deployed so much so that we almost matched our income. Moving forward, while we're laser-eyed focus on destroying this debt while still maintaining and building the portfolio, we will be on some bare minimum. So we probably peaked out because of that deployment, but moving forward with the strategy that I'm going to be using, which we will be going over in a future financial strategies episode, I will probably be investing a little bit less as we're focused on knocking this debt out, bringing down the expenditures, cutting to the quick, going into turtle mode, if you would. We're trying to save money around here. We're going to be doing we're going to be side hustling. We're going to be doing what we need to do to bring in some additional income as well, because when the markets go bedlam, this is when wealthy people are made. This is when you buy. So I am ready to buy, but I have to facilitate those buys. So they're going to be a little bit slower than what I would like. But on that same note, we're going to be making those moves necessary to definitely stay in the market. I'm for sure not going to be hitting 80% because we're not going to be deploying margin like that every time. We've got to wait for it to pay off to redeploy it because we're trying to be smart about it. And we're also going to be using a little bit of it to attack some of this debt, which is going to be cool. That brings us to the total saved. Now, for me, I don't save in cash. You're not going to see a pile of dollars anywhere. I don't have gold bars. Our money is working all the time, all of it, which is why when we take these hits from the market, they're heavy hits because everything's in the market. So I always tell people you don't gamble with the rent money. I make sure that the bills are paid, but everything else is active. We get active. My bank accounts, I'm a dusty. My brokerage account runneth over. My crypto portfolio runneth over. My HSA is getting to the point where we're gonna get it to running over this year. It's gonna be great. But we saved a total of $5,101.24. Good, solid number. No post-mortem on that. And that's one of the interesting things is we have so many metrics that were amazing. It's just the market didn't go in our favor. And when you have a market swing, you have two options. It's like, are you willing to ride this? Me personally, we took a what? Like about 35% across the board, which equated out to $934.83. And, we took it on the chin. Easy. Lost more money than that within weeks in crypto. Not a big deal. You ride the wave. I've gotten good at it. So we're getting ready to buy. We're looking to deploy. We're looking at what opportunities we have. That's the reason we shifted our debt around to clear the path to start moving some of that check over. We're also getting ready to laser focus on getting rid of this debt, because once the debt's out of the way, all bets are off. Like this entire plan that I have goes into complete hyperdrive once we're not carrying that weight. And I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that we're not going to be carrying that weight outside of, because I know someone's going to say it, liquidating assets, because we're not liquidating assets. That's not what we're doing. Especially when I have a healthy margin and I can use the margin, which we are going to do. We're going to go dive more into that in a strategy episode that's going to be based around what I'm doing specifically with my because I'm going to have to do an updated one now because stuff has changed as we've made these moves. So I'm going to do a re-update about my hyper velocity banking strategy. income from last month, collectively, we made $453 more than the previous month. So the income's moving in the right direction. I somehow managed to pull that off. Crazy. But you know, we had some in-house banking stuff going on, and yeah, we out here doing stuff. We made moves, and we made those moves, and I'm happy about it. So we did that. Dividends. Collectively in dividends, we made $1,729 for the month of March. Not bad. That is $364 off of the month prior. And reason being, the market's down. So you're working with high yield dividends. It's based on covered calls. You need volatility, which means the market's going to go down, but like you get paid better on that bounce back. So we're waiting on that bounce back. We made some big pivotal moves throughout the month of March, though, capitalizing on specifically this drawback that we're in. And we're going to continue to make specific moves to capitalize on these drawbacks. And we're going to keep doing what we do. We're refining our strategy. We're refining how we buy. We're refining when we buy. Like those are also things. I will say it over and over again. I will indefinitely be buying MSTY. It is a long for me. It is a big income play for me. It is the core of my primary income portfolio. Now we have the small portfolio that we're building out over on Robinhood's platform that's based on weekly income, and we do not have a MicroStrategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy, strategy weekly income yet. But I'm hoping. I mean, honestly, with the performance that I've had from Misty, if we had a weekly, I might be willing to part ways with half of my position of Misty to get in on that weekly as well. Because it just makes it's a good play. There's a lot of volatility on that, and I don't know if they just can't figure out because of the amount of volatility how to pull off a weekly strategy. I mean, honestly, a 0-day strategy would be pretty awesome too, that paid, well, like a 0-day that paid weekly. But I don't know if there's just too much volatility and they just don't want to take the risk that's involved with that. But I would like a weekly MicroStrategy based high yield dividend ETF. That would be amazing to me. But you know, we'll get there when we get there. If we don't, I am happy, more than happy with MSTY, and we're going to keep doing what we do. Dividends are a little bit low, down market, so we're getting more shares. We're hopefully going to be in a position to where we can eat that baseline up, because I would like that baseline of $2,000. That would give me a lot of wiggle room to do some stuff, and stuff would be done. So we're working on that. I think we've got a couple more big buys, hopefully drag our average down. But you know what I say, I dollar cost average all the time, but when we go into dips like this, I try to buy more. So we're trying to buy more. DeFi income, we had $349 come in DeFi, which is $241 more than the month prior. Markets being destroyed. It's just get out here trying to make money. It's not the easiest right now. And, you know, you just got to do what you got to do with that. It's not great. We're not having fun. But some income is coming in. So we're getting ready to do, we're down to basically just focusing in on this once a month. It's just the money's slow. We focus in on it once a month. Let it accrue to where it's something semi-substantial, and then redistribute as needed, make the moves necessary when we do that cash out, and we're about there. Last but not least is the credit. Credit's back up over 700. We're at 701, 5 points higher than it was last month. And as we start machine gunning down these cards, that number is going to start climbing. We're already getting some more balance transfers. They're starting to give out the free money, which is interesting now that my credit's not 820. the time, I think the time windows get shorter, which is fine because it's perfect amount of time for me to make the moves that I need to start actually focusing in on this debt without having to worry about those finance charges every month. So everything is out of the danger zone except for the daily driving cards at this point. And, you know, we're going to try to not be spending my entire paycheck, obviously. But as we're working with these dividend payments, we're gonna be able to start taking some chunks out of some of these cards and just machine gunning through them systematically with a plan in place to get this stuff out of our way, get it out of our face so that we don't have to deal with it. That's basically what we've got for this breakdown. One of the other caveats is I'm very lazy with my altcoins, and I should have consolidated out of those. That's the one thing. If I was to do March over again, I would have consolidated out of everything that I am not long on and put them down into long positions. Like I would have had quite a few positions over on Solana converted into Sol, and I would have just staked the Solana. Bunch of my stuff that's in the Cosmos ecosystem would have gotten out of those positions. I would have maybe kept one or two of them, and those would have been consolidated down into probably staked Ether and put in a cold storage, or wrap Bitcoin at minimum, so that way we could game that. Yeah. But looking at the market now, when we do our cash outs, we might make some of those adjustments, but a bunch of those positions are so terrible that it's almost not even I don't even want to take that loss. Like I'm just going to go back to staking and just have it staked and hope that on the swing up we can make something out of it, because where we're at right now is terrible. And by terrible, I mean it's awful. And by awful, I mean, good Lord, have we made, like, my apathy towards that portfolio because of how hype I've been about the dividend income portfolio that's basically replacing what we were trying to do with DeFi. We're just going to not do that there anymore, because the dividend portfolio is less gambly to me. And considering we have positions like Misty, I would rather place that money there and go that route than deal with what we're dealing with the DeFi space, because the swings are just so much worse. Like 30%, whatever. We're getting nuclear bedlammed over in the crypto portfolio. It's just terrible. In that active portfolio, I'm fine with the way that Ethereum and Bitcoin are moving. I'm fine with the way Chainlink's moving. But I'm fine with the way Solana's moving, because I'm still up on that. But everything else, I'm like, I could have just been in those. Like, I could have just been in Solana, Akash Network, which I'm fine with. Superverse, also fine with. And been good. And honestly, with us in Bedlam, like, I'm still considering trimming down a bunch of those positions and putting those into other positions that I am long on, because it's just, at this point, it just doesn't even make sense to me. I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy something, we can make the slower income there because we've got the income portfolio going now. We've figured out that on the TradFi side, a lot easier to deal with, much better to manage. Fluctuations aren't near as bad. Stuff isn't going to darn near zero. Like, I'm not getting totally nuked on my positions. So there's less risk involved. And so that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. That's what we're taking. It doesn't mean that I'm out of altcoins. It's just I'm going to be in positions where it's like, hey, for the bull run, we're just going to take these. We're going to take these easy wins, couple of home runs, do a couple of at bats, couple of one base runs, base hit, home run every once in a while. But the amount of risk that I'm willing to take versus just going and making money and buying Bitcoin, because the whole reason we have that portfolio with that many altcoins, with that many positions, is to game the bull run, which we could still win. We could still get some big wins on there. So I'm not out on altcoins. I am just focusing on specific positions with the altcoins specifically, because the whole goal of that is to get big gains, convert into Bitcoin, call it a day. If I'm not getting big gains to convert into Bitcoin to call it a day, or this year Ethereum, then I would rather just have a bunch of money in my income portfolio and use that income to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like, I can also do that consistently. Like that'd just be much easier. So like now we're getting to a point to where it's like we're going to focus on clearing this debt, securing that, and then buying as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as we can, and then doing that. And then maybe have a few extra plays like our Solana, Akash Network, Superverse. Like I'm keeping those. But and Aave. I'm have no complaints about Aave either. Like I do like that platform. So like that's another one that we're looking at potentially throwing more into. But yeah, when you have a bad month, you got to go through and figure out what went wrong, because sometimes it's, hey, I spent too much money. Hey, I decided to go on vacation 3 times this month. Net worth went down. Debt went up. Made some decisions that we shouldn't have. Was I impulse buying? Was I buying to fill my emotional void? I don't know. It could be anything. But if you're not looking at it and you're not willing to look and acknowledge the bad months, because most people are going to come on here and tell you that, hey, my net worth from last month to this month went down $34,934.83. Your gurus are lying. You're only getting a highlight reel. They're not giving you the real experience. This is what it looks like when you're trying to build wealth. You go to work every day. You bust your butt. You get talked to like you're crazy. You don't want to be there. And then you come home, and at the end of the month, after you invested all that hard money, guess what? The market went down. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to take the L? Or are you going to ride it out? Got decisions to make. Are you going to try to time the market and hope that if you sell everything right now and go into cash, that maybe you'll figure out when the magic bottom is and then buy back in? Or are you gonna do that anyways? Or are you gonna just wait for it to run up and then run right past where you were, and now you're buying in at a worse position? Why do you have these portfolios? Like, I don't care that my income portfolio went down. Do I like looking at red numbers? No, I don't. But it still paid me $1,729. And I use that money to invest. Actually, I used most of that money to pay back margin. But, we're down to one more margin payment if we get a decent payout and I have more shares in my paying positions, and I've got weeklies now that are in there just consistently chunking at it. And like once we zero that out, we're going to start the new strategy and pull some more margin. But it did what it was supposed to do. I have it for income. So the market fluctuation on that is actually way more palatable because I'm getting paid also. So it depends on, you got to go through and reevaluate why you're in these positions, why you're doing this, what's the long-term goal? Are you willing to take short-term pain for a long-term benefit? And this is part of the short-term pain. The numbers don't always go the way that you want. And honestly, I would say every number on here, with the exception of net worth and dividend, are all going the direction that I want. And dividend is semantical because it's just a little bit less than last month. Just a little bit. Net worth hurts. And I mean, especially on a month where we deployed margin, I got my savings rate percentage up. I get to pump my chest about that. The total saved, I'm feeling good about. That's a good, solid number. I'd like to see that every month. But the net worth and the dividend income, dividends came in a little bit light. That's high yield for you. It's not consistent. That's the reason you got to overshoot your goal by a good margin of what you think your target is. And I suggest when you make that budget for your dividend income, you include reinvestment. Real important. But that's the reason we're targeting 3+X what we're currently making now. The current lifestyle that I have now, we're trying to 3X or more that. Because then if we have a month that's a little slow, you're covered because your budget is within what my lifestyle is now. Like, I don't feel like that $1,700 that came in, it's only two places that thing's going: more investment or clearing debt. It's only two things it does right now, because I'm still going to work and I'm like, yay, whatever's left of my paycheck, like we'll worry about other stuff with that, while trying to not create more debt. Because if you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you got to do is stop digging. That doesn't mean I'm not buying anything. I'm just living within my means, and I'm building up the machine that's going to pay everything else back, because the majority of my debt is asset-backed debt. It's what I use to start these portfolios. How we use debt is different. So that's the reason I'm not super worried about it. And like, now that we're dialed in, I'm just ready to go, ready to get to it. So until next month, this has been the financial update. Hopefully, I know we had some interesting stuff happen with the day of liberation. The market did not like it after the speech was done, and hopefully we're gonna have some short-term pain, and hopefully there's a long-term benefit. But the Trump administration said straight up they don't care about us in the market. We've been doing great. We'll be fine. We're paying our fair share now. Market's down. We're getting hit. It's what it is. The goal was to make sure that we have jobs for people, and they're laser focused on their goals. Like, we just got to navigate accordingly and make the adjustments necessary. For me, I'm buying, because on the other side of this, mark my words, it's not just going to be the crypto market. On the other side of this, I have full faith and confidence, and I'm putting my money there with the amount of more investment I'm about to be doing. On the other side of this, that bounce back is going to be epic. Once the market gets its clarification on what prices are going to be, and making sure that everything's priced in and they're no longer scared, I'm happy that this day has passed us, because now we don't have to talk about it. But once the market decides where it wants to go with this, and we make the adjustments so that we can go back up, we can go back up. I don't even understand why anything in my portfolio is going down, to be honest. Like, it doesn't make sense, because none of it's getting tariffed. MicroStrategy is not getting tariffed. Bitcoin's not getting tariffed. And that's basically my thesis. Crypto's not getting tariffed. Like, nothing that I have, like, I'm just like, people that are selling out, that'd be like if you just went and turned in all your gold to have dollars at this point. Like, if you think things are going to get more expensive in dollars, why would you want to hold dollars? Because you're still going to buy stuff for more money. So those companies' values are still going to go up. So I mean, it's just, I'm trying to get rid of dollars every paycheck. I just want all the dollars gone. So yeah, till next month, people. This has been another financial update for the month of March 2025. Thank you for tapping in with me. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro, and we will see you next time. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tap in with me in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are your portfolios doing as bad as mine? Is your net worth doing as bad as mine? Because Ray had a pullback this month, so like we a lot of stuff broke down, but you're gonna have bad months, and to not get up here and tell the truth would be disingenuous. And as I like to say, somebody out here in these YouTube streets got to tell the truth, so it might as well be me. Till next month, people. It's your boy Reckless Ray De Niro, and I am out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.